refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Apply myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse. Mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found a time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like told me, keep on running, toes they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win. Apply myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Apply myself.
Welcome back to CTC. I'm your gracious host, Carl, and I'm back for another episode. I gotta let it out one more time just to put what today is. All right, man. Today we're gonna go over the week 9 weekend preview. As you can see, it's not a college game day style episode. It's gonna be a regular episode, but we got to get it done nonetheless. We got college football kicking off in an hour and a half. Can't wait. Should be an exciting weekend. Couple ranked on ranked matchups, some rivalry games going on today. We got Navy, Notre Dame to talk about. We got Alabama, Mizzou to talk about. Illinois, Oregon to talk about. Like I said, ranked on ranked, some good defensive, some good offensive games. But before we do all that, I'd like to ask that you leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. It helps the channel, it helps the network. It helps my channel, CTC, by way of the Refuse to Lose network. We also got shows on the network like The Main Show featuring, I'll just been my tongue, Joe, Tomo, and Dave. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 7 o'clock Eastern. We have BWT, Baseball with Teddy. Yankees took an L last night to the Dodgers, 6-3. I really didn't watch a lot of it because I had things to do. But y'all know, well, you don't know, Shohei Ohtani is my favorite player in baseball. And, I mean, shout out Jack Flaherty. Jack Flaherty started game 1. He pitched really well. First 5 innings. Got rocked in the 6th inning and sat down. But, you know, I'm rooting for the Dodgers, man. I'm rooting for my favorite player, Ohtani. And, you know, Jack Flaherty coming from the Tigers this year over there. Good luck to them. But next we got FFC, Fantasy Football with Coach Coombs. Fantasy football started Thursday, and you got Puka Nakua and you sat him because of the snap count thing. We all got swindled. I didn't even bet Nakua because of the snap count thing. Over under was 28.5, easy money. But we got swindled. But right back at it again tomorrow for fantasy football owners. Next, we have Dave's Doghouse highlights and lowlights of sports. So make sure y'all check it out. He should be going live tonight. Dave, sorry. Depending on what time you're going live, I might not be able to watch it. You know, big game tonight, Michigan State, Michigan. Next, we got In the Red Corner featuring Ty, Ricky, and Tomo. Boxing content, all your boxing through there. We got Kings Talk. Kings Talk has officially kicked it back off. Sacramento Kings content with Joe. They did lose their first game to the Timberwolves, but they played the Lakers tonight, looking for redemption. Looking to get their first W of the year against the Lakers, who are currently 2-0. Next, we have Real Ballers Only, Real RBO with Vaughn. NBA season has started. It started Tuesday. Bad. I mean, the debut Tuesday was not really great, but NBA is here. His Orlando Magic is 2-0. All your basketball content through there. We have Unfazed featuring AJ and JJ, AJ and Joe, every Tuesday night, 9 o'clock East, 8 o'clock Central for, you know, AJ and guys out there in the Midwest. But make sure y'all check that out. And I believe I ran through all the shows. So, you know, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. It helps the channel, helps the networks. And if you like what you're listening to, stick with us. So we're going to hop right in. We're going to start with Navy and Notre Dame. It's a neutral site game. It's in New Jersey. Notre Dame is coming to this game as 13.5-point favorites. Navy's coming into this game undefeated and ranked. This is a top 25 matchup. Oh, I just got a text. Shout out my boy Luke. He's in Ann Arbor for the game. So shout out my boy. I was about to see if he was going to hop on this joint, but he in Ann Arbor. So Probably can't. But yeah, Notre Dame coming into this game is 13.5-point favorites against Navy. Top 25. Notre Dame is 12th. Y'all know how I feel about them being ranked 12th. I feel like that's an overranking. While Navy is 24th, which I love to see it. But if you're new here, this is how I do my previews. I give 5 keys to each team. I start with the away team, which in this case, in neutral site, Notre Dame is still technically the away team, so I'm gonna start with them. 5 keys to each team, and I'm gonna pick a winner and give a brief description why. So first, we're gonna start with Notre Dame. Notre Dame, they have to stay disciplined. They're going against the triple option. You know, Navy's gonna run the they're going to run a triple option. You know, you got to stay disciplined, gap sound defense. Can't try to play hero ball because you might see one thing, try to go attack it, and next thing you know, somebody's running either up the gut or around you for a big game. You got to stay disciplined against the triple option. You got to remember that Navy can pass. Navy can pass the ball now. They actually been passing the ball a lot. So this ain't the Navy of old. The Navy of old, man, this is not them. Blake Horvath, is having a really good year. Got to remember that they'll pass the ball. Put Navy off schedule. Now, just because Navy can pass the ball don't mean they want to pass the ball. They want to dictate when they pass the ball. So you still got to put them behind the schedule, make them pass more than they want to. Navy, win the clock control battle. I think this is going to be a battle on teams on the ground. Teams ground games, and Notre Dame, has to win the clock control. Jesus, they got to win clock control battle. And lastly, Notre Dame got to stop the run. But if you're Navy, you got to win on first down. You got to get 3-4 yards of pop on every first down, or majority of them. That means not say every because that's unrealistic. Majority of your first downs. Pressure Riley Leonard. Let's put some pressure on him. Let's see if he might throw a costly interception, fumble the ball. Hold on. We might got some new developments. Fumble the ball. Let's see if they can put some pressure on him. All right, hold on. We might actually get my boy on the show. Hold on now. Might get my boy live from Ann Arbor. Contain Jeremiah Love. I've seen the stat that he's on like a 6-7 game touchdown streak. Just contain him. We know he's going to be able to do his thing on the ground, but let's not have him go for 200. Let's not have him put up Ashton Genty numbers. I say that. Keep the chains moving. You got to keep the chains moving with this option offense that is built to, keep the chains moving, score touchdowns, and take a lot of time off the clock, pressuring teams to score quickly, and force Notre Dame to pass because I don't think this passing game is really good. I think it's decent, but it's not what Notre Dame wants to do. But today, never mind. He can't do it. I'm going on a limb. I was thinking about it. And I'm up until 9 this morning. I was like, Notre Dame wins, but Navy keeps it close. But I thought about it. I sat with it. And I'm like, Notre Dame can be had. We've seen Northern Illinois do it. We've seen them start slow. We've seen Navy start hot. We haven't seen Navy look this good in a long time. Give me Navy to win the game. I think Navy is going to win this game. Rivalry game. Anything can happen. Neutral site. Undefeated Navy team. They look a little different. Brian Newberry has brought his own twist to the triple option. I think Navy could win this game if they can get Notre Dame to pass the football more often. They got to be able to stop the run. That is going to be key. I think they're going to have to not stop it, but contain it. They're going to have to be able to contain the run. But give me Navy to win this ball game. I'm going out on a limb. Next, we got an American Conference battle. We got Tulane at North Texas. Tulane coming into this game at 7.5-point favorites on the road at North Texas. Tulane is undefeated in American Conference play, while North Texas has one loss in American Conference play. So this is a big game. Tulane wins. North Texas. It has the half a game lead by winning the head-to-head against them. Tulane wins. They stay undefeated in the American League, who is my American League championship winner. Now, you'll see Tulane has 2 losses, but those were to Oklahoma and Kansas State, which I had them in the preseason. I had them coming into the American League Conference, I believe 1-2, which I believe they came into it at 1-2, but then I had them winning. I believe I had them winning out to go and win the American Conference Championship, but I digress. Tulane, gotta run Mekhi Hughes. They got to contain Chandler Rogers' legs. He's been doing a really good job being a dual threat guy. Chandler Rogers, that is, for North Texas. He has 23 touchdowns through the air, 8 interceptions, but he also can use his legs. Force turnovers if you Tulane, which Tulane has been doing so well as a defense. Get the ball to Mario Williams, and Darian Manson has to remain mistake-free. He has 0 interceptions in the last 4 games in American Conference play. So shout out to the young freshman balling there at quarterback. If you're North Texas, you got to establish the run. You got to be able to establish the run. Now, I say that because they are missing some guys in that backfield, so it's going to be run by committee. They do have to establish that run. They got to stop Mekhi Hughes, who has been real integral in Tulane's wins. He gets going. It's hard to stop that Tulane team in general. They got to pressure Darian Mensa. Like I say, he is a freshman. Let's put some pressure on him. Let's see. Wi-Fi. Okay. We back. Let's see if he finally makes that mistake. Chandler Rogers has to use his legs. And then Chandler Rogers also has to protect the football. Like I said, he does have 8 interceptions on the year. You cannot afford to give Tulane extra possessions, especially with that run game of Mekhi Hughes and the boys. So, with that being said, I'm picking Tulane to remain undefeated in the American Conference play. They right now, Tulane just look head and shoulders like the best team in American League. I know they just struggled. I believe they just struggled to beat Rice. But other than that, they were blowing teams out. They work really competitive in their FBS Power 4 schedule with Oklahoma, Kansas State. Now Oklahoma actually was the one that beat them worse. But this Tulane team looks like it's the best team in the American Conference, besides maybe Army and Navy, which they'll probably take. They got to take each other out because Army and Navy plays each other at the end of the year. But give me Tulane to beat North Texas and to remain undefeated in the American Conference. Next, we have Nebraska at Ohio State, number 4 ranked Ohio State. 12 o'clock on Fox. Ohio State comes into this game as 25.5-point favorites. Now, originally, I wasn't going to do this game. I really wasn't. But I didn't want to just have 2 morning games. I didn't see another game that I really wanted to talk about. Georgia Tech was another one I was going to talk about, but Haynes King, I figured he might not play. And it turns out he is out. So I stayed away from the Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech game. So with that being said, I just stuck with this one because I didn't want to just do 2 morning games. I just added this one as a third. I mean, Nebraska's 5-2, Ohio State's 5-1. I don't want to spoil it. But anyway, let's get into it. Nebraska, Dylan Raiola has to be better. He just flat out has to play better, especially in these second halves. These second halves for Dylan Raiola are night and day compared to these first halves. He has to be better in the second half of ball games. Stop Quinshon Judkins, and I'm going to just throw Travion Henderson in there as well because they have a potent rushing attack at Ohio State with those 2 guys in the backfield. They got to be able to establish a run. Dante Dowdle and the guys got to figure out a way to establish a run. Oregon was able to establish a run against Ohio State 2 weeks ago. But Oregon's a little bit better of a team than Nebraska. Have to force some turnovers. You got to get some turnovers against Ohio State because I don't feel Nebraska with 0 turnovers have a shot. So you got to create some extra possessions. You got to create shorter fields to try to score touchdowns. And you got to hold on. Defense has to put some pressure and contain Will Howard. If Will Howard's allowed to just sit back there and pick you apart with guys like Jeremiah Smith and Emeka Ibuka and G. Scott at tight end, so it's a wrap. You got to generate pressure on this guy. You got to get him out the pocket, get him speed up his clock. Now, if you're Ohio State has to run Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson. Enough said. Put pressure on Dylan Raiola because, again, 1, he's a freshman. 2, these second halves have not looked great for Raiola. And 3, he's coming off, a 3-interception game? Got to put pressure on him. Get the ball to Jeremiah Smith and Emeka Ibuka, who I just said earlier. Will Howard has to use his legs, and you got to stifle Nebraska's ground game to put the ball in Dylan Raiola's hand and make them one-dimensional. Now, Dylan Raiola is a good quarterback. I think he's going to be a really good quarterback when he gets the experience. And as Nebraska grows, he grows. But right now, he's not good enough to be a one-dimensional team. And so if Ohio State forces Nebraska to be one-dimensional, it's ball game. And with that being said, I think Ohio State wins this game easily at home in the shoe against Nebraska. This might be the hardest environment Dylan Raiola has played in all year. That shoe is no joke. Nebraska has a pretty good defense. I think they can cause some issues with Ohio State, but Nebraska's offense is just not going to get it done for them today, in my opinion. Ohio State has a really good defense as well. I think they'll stifle Nebraska's offense. Defense will try as much as they can. But offensively, I think it fails them for Nebraska, and Ohio State wins handily against Nebraska. We move on to the 3:30 games, where I have Illinois, 20th ranked Illinois. So this is a top 20 matchup at number 1 ranked Oregon, 3:30 on CBS. Now, before I get into this, I want to preface this that I was watching College Game Day. One of the few times I get to watch it because I normally be at work. And they talked about how Oregon's last game at number 1, they lost to Stanford. Then, which I knew this one, I knew because they talked about this. That number 1 beside your name is a curse. Yet again, this is not the first season. This is yet again. That number 1 beside Georgia lost to Bama. Number 1 beside Bama, lost to Vandy. Now Oregon has that number 1. Will they lose to Illinois? Let's talk about it. Illinois, got to get the ball to Pat Bryant. Pat Bryant is the best receiver on his team. Now, Zachary Franklin, I'm waiting. He has to step up. He got to step up against this Oregon team. It's going to be hard, but you got to step up, Zachary. Running back by committee is going to be huge tonight because Kaden Fagan is out for the year. You got to stop Jordan James because he's very integral for this Oregon offense. He's been breaking long runs. He's jump cuts. He's hard to tackle. He's hard to get to. And you got to contain Dylan Gabriel's legs because he can run that ball. We remember him at Oklahoma. We remember him at UCF. He can run that football. And if you give him a lane, if you fall asleep on design runs and he keeps it on a read option, he can take it to the house. So you got to contain his legs. Now, if you're Oregon, you got to stop the run. You got to stop the run. You got to make, which ties into my second point, you got to make Luke Altmaier beat you with his arm. You got to make him beat you with his arm. Now, Luke Altmaier, he's been really good protecting the football. He's actually had a really good year this year, which is surprising to me nonetheless. He's having a really good year. But can they force some Luke Altmaier interceptions? Like I said, he's been good taking care of the ball. But this Oregon defense is a little different. Can they force some interceptions? Can they? Oh, they got to run Jordan James, and obviously they got to get the ball to Evan Stewart and Tez Johnson. I think Trayshawn Holder is playing today. I don't think he was suspended for that long. I think he is playing today due to that incident with the spitting against Ohio State. But they're top 2 guys on the receiver end is Evan Stewart and Tez Johnson. So we got to get them the ball. But I don't think the number 1 is a curse today. I think Oregon wins this game at home. I don't know if they win by 3 touchdowns because they coming in here favored at 21.5. I tend to take Illinois plus 21.5, but can it happen? Yes. Will it happen? I don't know. But give me Oregon to win the game nonetheless. We move on to an SEC top 15, top 21. So I'll just say top 25 matchup. 21st ranked Mizzou Tigers take on the 15th ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. Alabama comes into this game favored by 15.5 points. You can catch this game 3:30 on ABC. Now, Mizzou, Brady Cook, will he play? Will he play? He's a game time decision. If he doesn't play, it's a wrap. That's just me. Marcus Carroll has to step up because Nate Noel is out. So Marcus Carroll has to step up. The transfer from Georgia State, who I really like. So I think he can step up. It's going to be tough. Brady Cook don't play, but he got to step up. Get Luther Burden and Theo Weiss the ball early. When they get into the game early, they're tough to stop. It's when they don't get the ball early, it just seems like Mizzou often sputters. It seems like it's tough to get them the ball. It's tough to get them involved. They sputter, and it just goes bad. Got to contain Jalen Milroe's legs. We've seen Jalen Milroe do his thing time and time again. Now, I think Tennessee did a really good job second half containing Jalen Milroe, and it slowed down Alabama's offense. So, got to contain his legs. And know where Ryan Williams is at all times. That young man is ridiculous. Even when you know where he is, he still might catch a jump ball over you. But you gotta know where he is at all times because that's where they're going in the pass game. Now, if you're Bama, Jalen Milroe has to be better passing. He has to be better passing. He didn't really do a great job in the second half passing, but I don't think he did a really good job, in my opinion, the entire game against Tennessee passing the football. And then to start the game tying drive, he throws a pick immediately. So, gotta be better passing the football. Alabama got to get the ball to Ryan Williams and Jeremy Bernard. That's another guy who's been making plays on the receiving end for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Jeremy Bernard, I feel like he's kind of like an unsung hero. He doesn't really get the credit that Ryan Williams gets, but he's been doing his thing nonetheless as a receiver position. Run Jan Miller and Justice Haynes. Enough said. Pressure Brady Cook if he plays. Now, if he don't play, send more pressure because this backup is coming into a Alabama environment in Tuscaloosa, top 25 matchup. Oof. And take away Luther Burden. Like I said, they're often sputters when they don't get the ball early, so you got to take them away. With that being said, I'm taking Alabama. Alabama, yes, they lost 2 games. Yes, they lost to Vanderbilt. Yes, they lost to Georgia. But where were both of those games? No, not Georgia, excuse me. They lost to Vanderbilt and they lost to Tennessee. Excuse me, they beat Georgia. I messed up. But where were those 2 games they lost? They were on the road. Tennessee was in Rocky Top. Vanderbilt was in Nashville. Both games was in Tennessee. This game is at home. Alabama's not losing 2 in a row, let alone losing at home. So give me the Crimson Tide to beat Mizzou today at 3:30. Speaking of Vanderbilt, speaking of Nashville, we move on to number 5, Texas at number 25, Vanderbilt. Top 25 matchup. This game is 4:15 on SEC Network. Texas coming into this game as 18.5-point favorites, which is pretty much is a lot. It's a lot. But they are. This is a bounce back spot for Texas coming off of a loss. I would say dominating loss to Georgia at home. So Texas, they got to protect Quinn Ewers. We saw Quinn Ewers get sacked 7 times last week, and that offense did not look great because that O-line was getting beaten and battered by the Georgia defensive line, getting beaten in the trenches. Got to protect Quinn Ewers. Got to establish Travion Wisner and Jaden Blue. Got to establish a run game against the Vanderbilt team who can be had defensively. Now, Texas got to contain Diego Pavia legs. That's been key for Vanderbilt wins. Diego Pavia on the ground. He's been really, really key running the ball. Got to take away Eli Stowers. Now, Eli Stowers is on the injury report. I think he's questionable. He may or may not go, but he's Diego Pavia's right hand. He needs to play. They're looking for Eli Stowers. Even just Vandy likes to get the ball in his hand. So you got to find a way to take him away. And you got to get out to an early lead on Vanderbilt. You got to make Vandy play from behind. Don't let Vandy jump out early on you. Now, if you're Vanderbilt, you got to run Diego Pavia. Just run him. Even if it's like a 2-yard gain, a 3-yard gain, just run him. He'll break one eventually, which is crazy saying that about a quarterback. Pressure Quinn Ewers. Like I said last week, we seen when he looked like under pressure. It was not the same. Shout out my boy Joe. He was saying that. And then if you watch the main show, that's what I was saying too. The difference between Quinn and Shador is Shador does it under pressure. Quinn hasn't really faced too much pressure. We saw it Saturday. Did not look the same. Need long touchdown drives. Vandy needs to play clock control football, and they don't need field goals. Field goals not going to cut it. Touchdowns are going to cut it. I need 6, 7, 8 minute drives. If I'm Vanderbilt, if I'm a Vanderbilt fan, I need that. I need long touchdown drives. Junior Sherrill and Quincy Skinner has to step up for Vanderbilt, especially if Eli Stowers is not playing. Those are the 2 receivers that need to step up, in my opinion, for Vanderbilt. And they got to stop the run of Texas. They got to stop Texas' run game. It's going to be tough for Vanderbilt to do defensively. I feel like defensively they're not the greatest. I think that defensively they can get got. And for that reason, while they're at home against Vanderbilt, I think Texas wins. I think Vanderbilt can keep up scoring, but I don't think Vanderbilt can get enough stops. And that's my issue in this game. I think Vanderbilt can keep it within 2 touchdowns because of their offense themselves. But defensively, they're not going to get enough stops to have a chance to win it late. So give me Vanderbilt to lose. Give me Texas to win. We move on to the night games. We have the third ranked. No, my bad. Don't come in the comments. 3rd ranked Penn State. They were ranked 4th last week. At Wisconsin, 7:30 on NBC. Penn State comes into this game as 6.5-point road favorites. Wisconsin has been playing better football, man. They've been playing really good. It feels like once they got over the initial shock of Tyler Van Dyke being out and they got to game plan how they were going to be, they looked like a better team. They're able to establish the run. Even with Chesney Malusi gone for the rest of the year, Tally Walker in that backfield, they've been playing really well. Penn State got to run Katron Allen and Nick Singleton. That's always going to be the key for them. Drew Law has to be better in the passing game. He just has to be. He has to be. Like, you can go look at them USC numbers. That wasn't Drew Law. That was Ty Warren. Nick Singleton caught some passes out the backfield, but he got to be better in the passing game, man. Get Ty Warren the ball. Speaking of, man, 211 yards against USC. But not only does he do in the passing game, he does everything. He does it all. Ty Warren is an integral part of this Penn State offense. Drew Law has. Oh, I already read that. And pressure Braden Locke. Braden Locke, although he is starting for the rest of the year, he's still a backup. He was still a backup. He was a backup last year. He got a ton of starting experience. I will throw that out there. He has a ton of starting experience as a backup. Started a lot last year when Tanner Mordecai got hurt for Wisconsin. He's going to start the rest of the year because Tyler Van Dyke got hurt against Alabama. But still, you got to put pressure on that guy. And lastly, you got to stop Tyree Walker. It's been the Tyree Walker show. They're going to run. They're going to give you a heavier dosing of Tyree Walker. Got to find a way to stop or contain him. Now, if you're Wisconsin, you got to get the ball to Will Pauling, your best receiver, in my opinion, because you can't be one-dimensional. You got to give off the threat of passing the ball to these Penn State defenders. And what better way is to get Will Pauling the ball? You got to run Tyree Walker. Again, it's going to be his show. You got to keep him running, but again, you can't be one-dimensional. Get Penn State behind the chains. Make Drew Law beat you with his arm. Make him have to go to Trey Wallace, Julian Fleming, Ty Warren. Make him have to throw the ball. Got to force turnovers, and you got to score touchdowns if you're Wisconsin. I think this is a game where field goals do not cut it. But ultimately, I think Penn State wins this game. Penn State really good defensively. I think Penn State can get to Braden Locke with Abdul Carter. Get to him, get him on the ground. I think that D-line is good enough to get sacks. And I think that front seven is good enough to contain the run of Tyree Walker and make Braden Locke have to beat them. Offensively, I think they'll be able to put up points, enough points to beat Wisconsin. I do think this is a close game, but I do think Penn State wins the game. Next, we have another good matchup. This is a top 15 matchup. 8th ranked LSU at 14th ranked Texas A&M, 7:30 on ABC at Kyle Field, home of the 12th man in college football. Major home field advantage for the Texas A&M Aggies. My first key, LSU, is Caden Durham playing? Caden Durham, they said he walked out of the Arkansas game with a walking boot. They said it was precautionary because he was already dealing with a foot injury. But he's still on the injury report, and I believe he's questionable or probable to play. So, night game, we'll see how it goes. Get the ball to Kyron Lacey and crew. Now, I said and crew because CJ Daniels is yet again a game-time decision. He played last week. He's a game-time decision this week. But and crew is Xavier Thomas. And I always get his name mixed up with the Andrew Armstrong from Arkansas. But I want to say his name is Anthony. No, is it? I'm going to look. But Xavier Thomas and Mason Taylor, one of my favorite tight ends in the country. And I want to say it's not Anthony Armstrong, but it's Anthony. I can't remember his first name. Aaron Anthony, I think. Or Aaron Anderson. There you go. It's Aaron Anderson. I knew it was going to come to me. I didn't even get a chance to look it up. I knew it was going to come to me. Aaron Anderson. Got to get the ball to them guys. Can Kyron Lacey unravel the blanket? Will Lee. Call him the blanket. Is he going to be put in the snuggie? Or is he going to be able to untangle that thing, unravel that thing, and throw it off him? Pressure Connor Wegman. Even though Connor Wegman can use his legs, you got to pressure him. And then contain his legs. Contain his legs, man. Don't let him be the playmaker that he is. And got to contain his legs. Now, if you Texas A&M, you got to sack Garrett Nussmeier. Because if you don't get back there, if you don't put pressure on him, if you don't get him on the ground, he's going to find some of these elite, talented receivers that LSU just seems to be put out every year. Established Le'Veon Moss. Not Amari Daniels. Ruben Owens is out for the year. So it's going to be Le'Veon Moss and Amari Daniels backfield. I believe Le'Veon Moss will be carrying the bulk of the carries. Connor Wegman has to take care of the football. He hasn't played that many games. He got hurt, I believe, in the first game against Notre Dame. He has 3 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Got to take care of that football. Nick Scorton, he's going to have to wreck the game. Make plays in the backfield in the run. Sack Garrett Nussmeier in the pass. It's just got to be a game record. And you got to score early at Cal Field to get that 12-man involved. Score early, get the crowd involved. Defense, this defense is probably the best defense LSU has faced. And with that being said, I'm going with Texas A&M. Texas A&M at home. Like I said, Kyle Allen, great home field advantage. Now, LSU has been playing really well. Been winning games that I thought they would not win. Yes, this is my 3rd week in a row picking against LSU. But one, like I said, probably the best defense LSU has faced all year. So that's going to be tough. 2, on the road at Cal Field, we know how that home field advantage is. And 3, this offense of Texas A&M has looked a lot better with Connor Wegman back there as opposed to I forgot Brad's name. He was a freshman last year. I think he played in the bowl game last year too. I can't remember his name. But this offense looks a lot better under Connor Wegman. So that all being said, I'm going with Texas A&M to win this game. I can't believe I can't remember Brad's name. I'm looking it up right now. Marcel Reed. So next, we got SMU at Duke. SMU is ranked top 25 at 22, but Duke is unranked. SMU is undefeated in ACC play. Will only loss in the year being to BYU, while Duke, I believe they have one loss in the ACC to Georgia Tech. Yep, they got one loss in the ACC, one loss in general to Georgia Tech. I think that's the only loss of the year. SMU comes into this game as 11.5 point road favorites. Catch this game at 8 o'clock on ACC Network. Now, if you're SMU has to be physical. Which was the one thing I always get on SMU about, lack of physicality. This Duke team, very physical, especially defensively. They're going to try to punch you in the mouth. Establish Brashard Smith, your transfer running back from Miami, the U. Kevin Jennings has to use his legs. You got to use your legs, man, especially against this Duke pass rush. They're going to be coming early and often. Got to get out of there to create positive plays. Contain Star Thomas, the transfer running back from New Mexico State for the Duke Blue Devils. And and make Malik Murphy beat you with his arm. I do think when Duke are put in passing situations, it ain't the greatest Duke offense. Duke wants to run the ball, stay ahead of the chains, pass when necessary, like get you with the play action passing game. Now, if you're Duke, you got to contain Kevin Jennings' legs, got to establish Star Thomas, get the ball to Jordan Moore. He is jump ball, running, whatever you want from Jordan Moore, he can provide it on that outside for Duke. Contain Brashard Smith, and you got to sack Kevin Jennings. It's not good enough to put pressure on him. It's not good enough to contain him. You got to get him on the ground. Get him on the ground. But with that being said, I actually went back and forth with this game too. At first, I picked SMU. Then I was like, you know what? Duke at home? Manny Diaz with this defense. What's been SMU Achilles heel? A really good defense. That's why they lost to BYU. Nevada defense gave them a lot of problems. They were able to pull that game off late, but the defense of Nevada gave them a lot of issues. A good defense is SMU's kryptonite. Then I thought SMU been playing a lot better under Kevin Jennings. Kevin Jennings led them to the American League Championship last year. American Conference, Championship. So I go SMU. But just now, Carl has changed his mind yet again. And he's rolling with the Duke Blue Devils. And it's again because of that defense. The defense of Duke is good enough to give SMU problems. I think SMU struggles offensively against this Duke defense. And I am rolling with Duke to beat SMU to make it now 3 teams that's undefeated in the ACC, being Miami, Pitt, who just blew out Syracuse on Thursday night. We got to talk about that maybe tomorrow. And I said Miami, I said Pitt. Oh my God, why am I blanking? It's 4 undefeated teams. It's Pitt, it's Miami, it's SMU currently in the ACC play, and it's Clemson. It will be Clemson, Miami, and Clemson, Miami. Bro, why do I always do this? It would be Clemson, Miami, and Pitt to be the lone 3 ACC teams undefeated after this Saturday. Give me the Blue Devils to win this game. And lastly, we got Cincinnati at Colorado. 10-15 on ESPN. Colorado comes into this game at 6.5 point home favorites against the Cincinnati Bear team. Winner of this Bearcats team, winner of this game is bowl eligible. Now, this is huge for both programs. Cincinnati, I think, had won 3 games last year, while Colorado, what were they? The worst team in college football just last year, according to people. Before the season, according to people, not according to me. So that being said, let's get into it. So Cincinnati, Brendan Sorsby has to take care of the football. Got to take care of the football. Cannot give Colorado and this explosive offense and any extra possessions because they will turn them into touchdowns. Run Corey Connor and Evan Pryor because again, this defense Achilles heel is running the ball. You got to go running back. You got running game. Oh my! You're gonna go for numbers against the Colorado defense. Get Shedeur Sanders. Get to Shedeur Sanders. Not get to him as in pressure because we see he still makes throws on the run under pressure, but you got to get him on the ground. Got to get him on the ground, which his offensive line has shown that teams can't get to him and get him on the ground. You got to score because, like I said, Colorado's offense is explosive. They're going to put up points. You got to put up points with them. You got to get off the field on third down situations on defense. On defense, you got to get off the field. Cannot allow Colorado keep the chains moving on third downs. Now, if you're Colorado, you got to protect Shedeur Sanders. Got it. Quarterback is the best asset. You got to protect them. Get the ball to LaJohntay Weston and Will Shepard. Will Shepard, again, a guy that does it all. Jump balls, route fronting. It does it all. Will Shepard does it all. You got to stop the run if you're Colorado because that's your Achilles heel on defense. got to try to establish a run against Cincinnati. Just get them off. Just get a decent run to where the pass rushers ain't always pinning their ear back to go get Shador. And you got, like I said, force some turnovers, get some shorter fields, just put up points. Now, with that being said, going with Colorado to get bowl eligible first. Colorado wins this game because their offense is legitimately explosive. It's going to be tough for Cincinnati to stop it. And I always talk about Colorado's second half defense being better this year. In the second half, they are really good defensively. It seems like they pick up on what you want to do, adjust to it, and they do a really good job in the second half of ball games, even against K-State when they lost. Third quarter, DJ Giddens was still doing his thing, but midway to the third quarter to the fourth quarter, they stopped the run. It's just Avery Johnson and Jace Brown picked it up late game after Shador threw a bad interception. Colorado takes the lead, and then K-State just won it, got the game, won the touchdown late game. But give me Colorado to beat Cincinnati. Now, you might be thinking, Carl, this your last game? How? You didn't talk about Michigan State, Michigan. That's because my previews are unbiased, Carl. So I give you my real thoughts about the game, who I really think going to win, my reasons why. Unbiased. This ain't unbiased today. We got a segment just for this game alone. Spartans will win. There ain't no previewing this. Ain't no Michigan can win the game, but no, this is straight Michigan State and why we will win. No notes. This is why Michigan State will win this ball game tonight, 7:30 on Big Ten Network, as 4.5-point underdogs on the road and Little Ann Arbor. Firstly, Davis Warren is back starting for the Michigan Wolverines. So that pass game, man, they can't pass the ball. And now, do I think we're going to sell out to stop the run? No, we didn't really sell out to stop the run against Iowa. I don't think we need to sell out to stop the run against Michigan. They cannot pass the ball. Not only can they not pass the ball, Donovan Edwards don't look the same as a starter, man. He really don't. I'm sorry. Khalil Munners is looking like the better back, in my opinion. Just saying. Now, offensively, I do think Aiden's going to throw a turnover. I do. But when doesn't he? And we're still 4-3 here. We're both 4-3. Aiden Child's he's going to throw a turnover. So I think we'll be able to overcome that. I think Nick Marsh is going to be huge in this game like he always is. I think Nick Marsh can go for anywhere between 70 to 100 receiving yards. I don't think he gets nothing less than 70. I say 75. Aiden Childs, for as bad as boneheaded plays he makes extraordinarily good ones too. And I think his legs and his ability to manipulate the pocket and create extra time is going to bode huge against this Michigan pass rush. I think Mason Graham might get in the backfield, but I think he makes him miss a couple times. Mason Graham might get him once. But I think his ability to escape the pocket and create plays, that's going to be huge. His legs are going to be huge. We really haven't had a guy who can run like Aiden Childs at quarterback at Michigan State. Connor Cook was like the closest in my opinion, or maybe Peyton Thorne, but I don't remember us having a quarterback like this in a long time. So I think that's an extra wrinkle that Michigan is not used to coming from an MSU game. So I think that's going to be huge too. But I think we score on these guys. I think we make them have to pass the ball. Davis Warren throws an interception, maybe two. Charles Brantley has been extraordinarily well for MSU. And Ed Woods. Shout out Ed Woods. I think Ed Woods don't get the credit he deserves at cornerback for MSU. Ed Woods has been playing really good for MSU at cornerback. Charles Brantley as well. Jordan Turner at the linebacker spot with Cal Holiday has been huge for MSU as well. And I think our pass rush is going to be able to get to Davis Warren. But I think, like I said, the major key is I don't think we have to sell out to stop the run. I don't think we shut it down completely, but I think we do a really good job against it without selling out. So, yeah, man, I think Spartans will win tonight against Michigan. I think Spartans will go to 5-3. Michigan go to 4-4. And I think there's going to be a lot of disappointed Michigan fans, man. So that's my little segment, man. I just wanted to get that off. Like I said, man, this ain't a preview. This is not the CTC you used to. This is a designed segment for me to tell why Michigan State will beat Michigan at 7:30. But that's all I got for y'all today. Hopefully y'all enjoy these college football games. We got 50 minutes till kickoff. I'm excited. I cannot wait. We're going to start off with some big games. I know I didn't talk about this one, but I will be watching Indiana versus Washington. Curtis Rourke is out for Indiana and steps Taven Jackson, who was a starter last year for a little bit for Indiana. Going against Washington, Will Rogers and the guys. Cignetti, man, doing an unbelievable job at Indiana. I think it'll be an interesting game to watch. But like I said, that's all I got for y'all. Dave's Doghouse should be later. I should be back to talk weekday tomorrow. I'll let y'all know. But I'm gone. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.